Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Now we will discuss about the thermal analysis. I think so far thermal analysis become the companion of your class because many lectures has been delivered on this topic. So we basically I focused solely on the techniques will cover under the thermal analysis. That is, these are the thermoanalytical techniques. We are now much familiar with different thermoanalytical techniques. Among thermoanalytical techniques, there are six already discussed techniques: thermogrammetric analysis, thermal differential analysis, differential thermal analysis, differential scanning calorimetry, dynamic mechanical analysis, thermomechanical analysis, and thermometric titration. All these six techniques have been discussed in detail. Now today's lecture is a bit about the tutorial type lecture about the TGA, thermogrammetric analysis. Tutorial mean there are questions about the TGA. How many possible questions mean basic possible questions about the TGA technique. So we will discuss to the various questions that can arise in the mind of students when we are talking about the thermoanalytical techniques, and in this lecture we will discuss the question arised in TGA, thermogrammetric analysis. So the common question about TGA. So in this lecture we will discuss the common question about TGA. What is TGA? Let's start the definition of the TGA. Thermogrammetric analysis is a technique in which the mass of a substance is monitored as a function of temperature or time as sample specimen is subjected to a controlled temperature program in a controlled atmosphere. Mean this type of question can be asked in a viva voce, any kind of interview, or in a kind of practical papers about the TGA. An alternative definition can be TGA is a technique in which upon heating a material its weight increase or decrease. A simple or one line definition. A simple TGA concept to remember: TGA measures the sample weight as it is heated or cooled in a furnace. This is a very simple definition. So the next question about the TGA. The TGA instrument can quantify loss of water, loss of solvent, loss of plasticizers that are used in the thermosetting and thermoplastic resins and to increase the flexibility, decarboxylation, pyrolysis, oxidation, decomposition, weight percentage. Filler are used in different types of polymers, usually in the paints. Amount of metallic catalytic residue remaining on the carbon nanotubes, and percentage weight ash. All these quantifiable applications are usually done upon heating, but there are some experiments where information may be obtained upon cooling. So the next question: how is a TGA thermal curve displayed? This is a very simple. The abscissa, that is also called x-axis, can be displayed as a time or temperature, and the ordinate y-axis can be displayed as weight, mean the weight in milligram or weight percentage. From the figure it can be very clear. Along x-axis is time or temperature, while along y-axis weight in milligram or weight in percentage. The next more common question about the TGA is: what does a TGA thermal curve look like? A TGA thermal curve is displayed from left to right. The descending TGA thermal curve indicates a weight loss occurred. For example, a 15.013 milligram sample of calcium carbonate was analyzed. The temperature program is as follows: heat from 100 degrees centigrade to 900 centigrade at the rate of 10 degrees centigrade per minute in nitrogen atmosphere with the purge rate of 20 ml per minute. The behavior, the role of purge gas is already explained in various techniques when we were talking about the other thermoanalytical techniques. Now the another question is about the TGA. What is reproducibility and why it is important? Reproducibility is important parameter in the qualification of any analytical instrument. Reproducibility is the ability to create the same experiment over and over. Reproducibility is very important when comparing one set of data to another. If the experiment is reproduced the same each time, then any variation within the data is due to a change in the sample, not operator error. Basically, reproducibility is the data repetition by different instrument that is operated by a different analyst in a different analytical lab. So three parameters for that cover the reproducibility: different instrument, different analyst, and the analysis is performed in different lab. So this cover the reproducibility. If the results are within a certain limit that is defined by various regulatory bodies, then the method is reproducible. So the 6 TG operating variables that contribute to reproducibility: calibration, furnace cleanliness, sample preparation, temperature range, temperature scanning rate, and sample atmosphere that is going to analyze. Now the common question about the TGA another: how do I clean the TGA furnace? The TGA furnace is a very important in thermogrammetric analysis because this is working as a holding of a crucible that contains the sample to decrease or increase the temperature. The furnace is easily cleaned by having the furnace open to air and heating it up to 900 degrees centigrade and burning all residue of the furnace. So this is a very simple way to clean up the furnace. What is the best? The other question is, what is the best way to prepare a sample? This depends on the nature of your sample. Below are 6 suggestions to consider when preparing a sample. The sample size should be between 2 and 50 milligram. If you have a minimum amount of sample, then run at least 1 milligram. If possible, cover the bottom of the pan with the sample material. The sample pan may be of ceramic or platinum, can accommodate liquids, powders, films, solids, or crystal. Mean any type of analysis can be performed by TGA. Once you have decided on the sample form, then for best result use approximately the same sample weight during each experiment to get the reproducible results, as we have discussed it in on the last slide. What is the reproducibility? This will ensure the reproducibility. Many small pieces of sample are better than one large chunk. Chunk mean the very familiar word is a haphazard piece of any type of sample under investigation. It is better to have a large surface area exposed to the sample perch. If we have a uniform sample, we will get the reliable and most accurate result. If we have a non-uniform sample like chunk, then we will not get the reproducible or reliable result by any type of thermoanalytical technique other than TGA. The other question is, what temperature range should I run in when analysis by using the TGA? You should know your sample. You should know the approximate temperature of the material transition of the interest. We should have a little bit idea about the sample that is to be run by TGA. Once you have determined the event temperatures, perform a surface scan. That surface scan basically that is the scan of the temperature different types of TGA instruments. A survey scan is run at 20 degrees centigrade per minute, and it begins and ends 100 degrees centigrade below and above the transition of the interest, mean transition temperature of any material under investigation by TGA technique. The next one is when should I calibrate my TGA instrument? The following are the reasons to check calibrations. When you change the temperature range that you have been working in, temperature range, every type of sample have different temperature ranges. So every time you have to calibrate the temperature ranges before to run the sample. When you change the purge gas rate is also important. Also we are using different type of gases for the purging. When you change the purge gas, both purge gas rate and the purge gas you are familiar with, it may be nitrogen, it may be helium, mean any inert gas. In order to avoid direction of the sample under investigation with the environmental gases, so we purge the environment of the sample, mean the environment of the furnace in TGA, to avoid any side direction of the sample with the environmental in the gases in the environment of the furnace. The other question is, how can the TGA be used as QA/QC, quality assurance and quality control tool to ensure products meet their material specification? Below is a fiberglass reinforced printed circuit board. This analysis determines the amount of resin and the amount of fiberglass used in this material. The delta Y calculation was used to determine the component percentage. Resin mean 44.144%, while the glass is 56.854%. The resin decomposes in two steps. First is the rapidly, that can be seen easily from the graph below. At the temperature around about 370 to 380, it become down in the percentage of the material, mean fiberglass material, then it's bit decrease after 370 degrees centigrade, and it decrease up to 56.85% at the temperature of 700. That can be easily seen from the graph. Then the resin decomposed in two steps. First rapidly, then show as the last remaining resin decomposes, mean at the 700 degrees centigrade. Now the other question is, how can the TGA be used to ensure product safety? Above is a three-component material ABS, acrylonitrile butadiene styrene. This is a very versatile material for the plastic applications. This ABS has a high butadiene concentration. The red weight loss curve shows three distinct weight losses representing each component from the graph that clearly shown. The blue derivative curve has three peaks, can be seen at the temperature of 450 degrees centigrade, then it is at the about 600 degrees centigrade. The percentage of each component must be consistent for this product to provide useful and safe functionality. The other question is, can the TGA be used to determine carbon content? Here is an ethyl cellulose sample. The experiment utilized gas switching. The sample gas purge rate was 30 ml per minute for the nitrogen and air. The gas switch from nitrogen to oxygen was triggered by a simple software command from with the sample method, mean the software command from the instrument. Now the much more advancement has been incorporated in the modern instruments. So everything is run by the software incorporated with each type of thermoanalytical instrument. The delta Y percentage after the gas, which is the carbon content of this material from the gas, from this graph you can easily see there is a loss in the weight at the round about 400 degrees centigrade. The percentage loss, weight and loss is shown along y-axis, while the temperature is along x-axis. The gas switching nitrogen and is clearly seen from the graph. Now the other question is, can the TGA be used to identify a counterfeit product? Below is the sample of commercial grade gypsum run in static air from 50 degrees centigrade to 1400 degrees centigrade. The scanning rate was 100 degree was 10 degree per minute. The red curve is the weight loss curve and its first derivative is the blue curve. The water loss of 18.5% begins at the initial 50 degree centigrade mark and continues evolving up to 150 degree centigrade. The values were calculated using the onset calculation and the delta Y calculation. So from the graph can easily be seen the counterfeit, to check the counter, either the gypsum is a counterfeit product or is a genuine product. One body can run on the TGA instrument from the curve by using the reference material, reference mean quality control grade gypsum. One can differentiate between a genuine product and a counterfeit product. Now another question is, can the TGA be used to identify safe operating temperature in various gases? Below is an example of weight gain experiment. A manganese sample was run in nitrogen atmosphere. The sample purge rate was 30 ml per minute. The delta Y calculation with calculation limits were arbitrarily set at 115 degrees centigrade and 1190 centigrade. In this experiment, the weight gain is due to transformation of manganese nitride, mean the manganese react with the nitrogen gas to form the manganese nitride. When manganese is run in argon, there is no weight change. It's mean the manganese does not react with argon, that is the inert gas, while it react with nitrogen to form the manganese nitride. So at the side of the weight loss there are two captions, mean red line and other is gray line, and along x-axis is temperature measurement. Manganese run in nitrogen gas. This weight gain represents the formation of manganese nitride. When this manganese nitride is found, it's mean the weight gain. So the weight gain is about 24%. When this manganese run in the an atmosphere of argon, then manganese does not react with argon, so no weight gain is observed in TGA analysis when using inert gas. So this purge gas is also an important and also clarify the safe operating of TGA in various type of gases. So manganese, to identify to characterize the behavior of manganese sample, the best suitable purging gas will be argon, not the nitrogen, because nitrogen react with manganese to form the manganese nitrate, while the argon gas, that is the noble gas or the inert gas, does not react with manganese, so no weight gain will be observed. So another question about the TGA: How can the TGA be used to enhance product formulation processes? Below talc sample was run in static air from 50 to 1500 degrees centigrade. Scanning rate was 110 degree per minute. The red curve is the weight loss curve, and its first derivative is the blue curve that clearly seen from the graph below. Static air was used as a purge gas because talc is processed in a personal healthcare product in that environment. So static air talc is also inert material, cannot react with environmental gases, that is in the oxygen or in the nitrogen. So this was run in the presence of the static air. A better understanding of when thermal events occur enable a process to be optimized. So formulation can be checked by using formulation of the talc sample can be analyzed, can be characterized by using the static air as purge gases, either is react with or does not react with the static air. If there is a reaction of talc with the static air component, then there might be impurities, might be a mixing of other type of material in talc formulation. So this TGA technique can also helpful in quality enhance the formulation of the talc used in healthcare products. Another question about the TGA is how can the TGA be used to reverse engineering a product? Reverse engineering to form a product, a replica of product or of any type of product. This is called reverse engineering. The TGA is frequently used as a QA QC tool. Here two products are being compared. Comparison are done frequently by TGA, mean the thermal behavior can be determined, thermal characteristics can be determined by using TGA technique. One is in the original product, that is absolutely known about the its thermal behavior, while the other products to be prepared in the lab to check their quality assurance and quality control aspects to compare it with reference product. Comparisons are done frequently by TGA. Many times competing products from the different suppliers are distinguished by TGA. So this is the curve again. The weight loss is along the y-axis, and its temperature behavior, temperature changes along the x-axis. The red curve is the good automobile windshield wiper blade, while the blue curve is a bad automobile wind wiper blade. So it's a comparison at the start around 200 degrees centigrade. Both the products have same weight temperature relationship, while when the temperature gone above to the 200 degrees centigrade, the replica product shows the more weight loss comparative to the reference product, that is clearly shown in the graph. The reference product is of a red line, while the replica product is to compare with the reference is represented in the blue line. The other question is, can TGA analyze nanomaterials? TGA is widely used as QA QC tool in the manufacture and use of carbon nanotube CNT. TGA is used in CNT manufacturing process to characterize the amount of metallic catalytic residue that remains on the CNT. This is done because CNT are classified by percent purity. In other words, 100% less the percent of catalytic residue mean carbon to metal content. TGA is used to characterize end products that contain nanoparticles or CNT as in their usual end product characterization. Characterization of coatings on nanoparticles and CNTs by evolved gas analysis can be achieved using TGA EGA techniques. Evolved gas analysis uh, explained in the last lecture. Both nanoparticle manufacturers and manufacturers of end products that contain nanoparticles and CNTs use these techniques to characterize, to analyze these type of materials. And with TGA hyphenated system, the TGA can always be used alone as a simple TGA. And the thermoanalytical hyphenation techniques are also discussed in the last lectures in detail. So thank you very much. If you have any question, please put your question in the chat box. I will answer all the questions.